What was that, baby?
There was a cop
Oh,
right there.
good that you weren't going crazy.
No, I wasn't. This person that's been kind of going the same speed as faster and then slower. So
I don't need to be this bright, by the way.
is everything on ready?
I think I'm recording right now. I forgot to tell you that. Hello, if anybody can hear me out there. We're driving. Kathy and I are driving home
You're
from
driving.
work. Kathy's driving, and we had a decent day's work. Nice work, mostly nights. That's what we do. If I'm going to advertise this to, I didn't do it in my last one, to Facebook friends and Twitter, X. So, yeah, I labeled this, did Jesus say he would come? Oh, I spelled with wrong. Witty, a comet.
How do you spell it?
Witch.
Witchy.
Yeah, like witchy, I think. Witty, is that how I spelled it? Witih. So how would you say that?
I don't know. I can't even like my brain. Tired.
Yeah. Kathy's been driving for 10 hours on again, maybe a little less than that. But by the time we get home,
Well, we will be home a little earlier tonight than
right.
the other nights since we've been back here. Wonderful town of Boston.
And Twitter X, did Jesus say he would come with? Should I fix that?
However you feel inclined. But it may attract attention, so leave it.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I don't know. You really
We need to attract attention sometimes. Um, because we all know that if something's not put in front of us, we don't pay attention to it.
yeah, you forget about it.
And so,
That's
yeah,
why we have all the food out in the cupboards and the stuff that will spoil.
right,
We
right,
don't put bananas in the cupboard because we put up the ginger and it got moldy.
right.
Gotta leave
Needs
it
to be able to
out.
breathe.
Yeah, well, you gotta be able to see it so you know, like, oh, yes, I need to use this.
Yeah, right. That's right. We should do that with the ginger.
I know.
Remind us.
I saw it today when I got my protein powder out and I thought about it, but I have ginger tea I brew.
So, so I wanted to talk about the Well, I didn't actually put the right verses up there, so I'm gonna to go with the title. So I thought I was gonna talk about Revelation 11 again, which I didn't do last time, even though I put that in the comment in the title. But lightning, Lightening, I think, in my search. No, I must not got that right. So I must not have that right. I must have not had that right. No, now I'm more confused. I don't have the damn thing right. Yep.
There is no road. There is no road. It's nice because on the way into town, there's a sign that somebody put up outside of their land, and it says, "God loves you, praise Him."
Yeah, I saw that on the way in.
Yeah, and every time I see that, I say, that's right. God, Tando, do love me, and I praise them.
Uh huh.
So I like that little reminder.
Yeah.
That's why it's good to put images up and have things out there so people are seeing it.
Here it is. The part of scripture that I was talking about. But it said reconnection successful. So OBS just disconnected and reconnected again. First time that's happened to me with the laptop in the car on the car assistant.
Charles.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Anyway, so we keep on, of course, hearing stories of comets, right? As something that gets regularly reported, even though it doesn't necessarily, get talked about a lot, um, and it's thought to be commonplace. I think by and large, but I think there's a reason for that, and that is related to the forecast that Jesus gave to describe a part of his return, parts of his return. Oh, okay. Well, let me know if you can't hear me. I'll check the chat.
I heard you last night fine.
Good. So let me go to the chat. Dawn Possession, hello. And let's see what else is here. Oh, that's right. Okay. Move that up and put on live chat. And put on there it is. Pop out chat. Okay. All right. So I'm good now with that part. And I can check. I didn't check my volume last time. I forgot to do that. Audio mixer test. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I can listen to it also on the YouTube channel if I turn my speaker on. Want me to do that? Should I test that, you think? So, okay, cool. Well, I like that this is strictly the red letters showing here of the verses that say in Matthew 24:27 says, "For as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be." That's the coming of the Son of Man be. That's the coming of the Son of Man is talking about the soul, the older member soul that was in Jesus, coming back as a son of a man in the terms of man being a Homo sapien, which is also the method of becoming a member of the next level by taking over a Homo sapien and then becoming a man in the truest sense, and that would be a member of the next level, an older member of the next level. I mean, even if the older member is an older student member of the next level who hasn't completed their entire program, uh, but they've made headway on it and they're in line for their next opportunity to develop that further. And that opportunity for the members of the class that left, because Doe indicated that some of them may need to return for an overcome for their overcoming process. Uh, we don't know if uh, um, they could have accomplished what they needed to accomplish by even coming back immediately. We don't know what the next level would do. So it's not right to, I don't think, assume anything in that regard. But look at the evidence that Tiendo gave us of things. That's
Are new souls being
our new souls made. Uh, well, I believe Doe said that they were. They could. In Doe's final exit, he talks about how um, uh, that all humans don't have souls, and he
made? There's
says,
only so many souls.
right, right. There's only so many planted. Deposited was the word actually that Tiendo used. They said
Others
those
are on ice. Sorry.
others are on ice.
Yeah.
Well, I think they were on ice, but they were all brought back. Any that became a soul would have had some degree of a significant relationship with an older member from the next level.
Yeah, that's why I'm like saying, are there like souls that are brand new, don't have any?
Yes, I was gonna. Yeah, Dose gave evidence of that in Dose Final Exit, where he said that even if you were curious about him, about the next level, about the teachings of T and Do, uh, that might be enough of a that could be enough of a reason for the next level crew to deposit a soul in that vehicle at that moment. And so that could be happening right now. That somebody could be showing that curiosity. Now, that doesn't mean that that soul is going to grow to be viable to be saved. Because Tiendo also talked about that the soul needs to be grown. Because it's like, and Jesus talked about that in terms of planting of seeds, as I believe was talking about depositing souls into vehicles. And that some would fall by the wayside. Uh, and I have to go back and look at that story that he told about that. And then some would be eaten by the birds, which I took to mean the space aliens. Uh, and and some uh, didn't, well, fall by the wayside. I think meant they heard the word, but it didn't it didn't take root at all. It didn't mean anything, I guess, to the person who heard it. And then the other one was that uh, some would they wouldn't fall on fertile ground, and so they wouldn't take root. And and I think that meant um, they were too attached to the human kingdom to want to even.
So if that soul didn't take root, what happens to
I don't know. I don't know. It might be. I don't know if it would be recycled or if the next level would have some, because they don't waste anything. To them, they're putting a lot of effort out to do what they do. They don't choose things haphazardly. So I don't know what they do with it, with that entity that they created to house the mind of their uh, the next level above human. But I think it's like the development of an organ, like, kind of thing. And it's like if the organ fails, then it can't accomplish what it was designed to accomplish. Then how much do they have to do to try to give it remedial work when they can create another one?
but souls are not organic.
Well, plasma kind of organic is what I think what Tiendo said. I think it's the fourth state of matter. Is that right? Maybe I don't know if you remember that, or the fifth state of matter. It's a state of matter though, and you hear it talked about a lot.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But it's not like what like see it.
It's not like what? Like
You can see it with your eyes. Like when somebody dies and their
right.
soul, how it's spoken of leaves their body. You can't like see that.
Well,
It's not organic matter that comes out of somebody's flesh and blood body after it's dead. That they can measure on
right,
the coroner's table, or whatever.
right. I think that, yes, I believe that's true from Tiendo's teachings, best I can tell.
Spirits don't.
But the spirit can
Like
be
we were
seen.
talking about, like with the air, the wind, the breath.
Yes, well, that's the definition of spirit, like pneuma in the Greek, right? It's um, the breath, the wind, and Jesus talks about the wind, and that he compares that to the mind of the next level. I forgot his words exactly on that score, but that you don't know where it's coming from, you don't know where it's going to, because you can't see it, but it's you know that you can feel it and you can hear it. And I guess if there's smoke in the air, then you can see it, or if there's something in the air to give it more adaptable to our perspective of vision, our frequencies that we see. And then some people, like we were talking about the other day, Kathy and I, about some people can see things that others can't. but those are frequencies. Those are different than soul. But I think it's possible to see a soul, but it depends on probably, like we're talking about, the individual, the vehicle, and the mind also. I mean, you can't have a vehicle that is able to see, I don't think, see a soul or a spirit. Um, if your mind isn't, uh, has some recognition that that's true. And that was evidenced uh, with when we saw the ghost movie in the classroom. And they showed the ghosts going in and out of the people and going through walls. And at first, some of the new ghosts didn't know what.
What do you, the camera?
Oh, I see. I must have turned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. So some of the new ghosts didn't know that they could go through walls and through a human body, a physical, a dense physical body. And I think T felt like, well, I don't know if it was T that saying this, but Dope felt like that was a good illustration of the reality that just because you're in the spirit world doesn't mean that you know what's going on there. You don't know where the doors are to certain areas. Whether you label like one of those areas as Ekankar, and so you don't know that that exists. But then you could be met by other spirits that believed in Ekankar when they were living, and then taken to that location, whatever that location is. And I believe it would be a geographic related location, to the atmosphere of this planet. You could probably have a GPS to the location. I would think, from the perspectives that I believe T and No were giving us about it.
Careful with that.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Thanks. So, uh, so spirits. We also don't know uh, what spirits are saved. The indication, or saved for future opportunities. And I think one of the ways that, I'm not sure if this is correct, but uh, since Tiendo taught that there were planets that had humanoid life forms growing on them that didn't have the presence of the Luciferian space alien fallen angel souls to to be the reason to have all kinds of conflicts and hatreds and all kinds of lies and deceit, manipulations, and killing each other, and because, huh? Because all those things are because of um, the presence of the minds that went against the next level over a period of time. And so basically distorted the entire planet. It's a jail. And and she gave us one example of the distortion. She said like the oak trees. I think she was referring to the oak trees in Texas. I mean, Kathy and I live I've been living in Texas for the last few months, and and we've seen a lot of these oak trees, and she said that they're not growing right. She said they should be straighter, like they're all crooked and distorted, like, and they have these knobs on them and stuff, these burls on them that are like, cancers or whatever they are. She didn't say all that. I'm saying that she said that the way they were growing crooked was not natural to that plant to grow that way. And I can start to think about that. I never didn't know how that would work. That the presence of the lower forces have so put that kind of negativity, like disease, actually. It's a disease, I guess. Even though the next level, I think, is in charge of diseases on the planet, I don't think they happen willy nilly. I mean, a certain amount of them do, because a disease a cold is a degree of a disease. Disease, or however you want to say it. I don't know what the origin of the word is actually, but I've heard it talked about that way. Uh, uh, but so, the, but I wondered about the way that the way we think can affect uh, the dense physical matter. Because if every soul, like Kathy and I were talking the other day about the genetic, uh, and what did you bring up about that I was referring to as the genes?
The genetic programming that God would have performed on Adam and Eve.
Right, right. And why Adam and Eve made the choices they made. But
Which led to a reverse metamorphosis, because I was saying,
right,
you know, why have a being that is created to not reproduce, why have it as a punishment be now you're going to reverse and revert back to, because you were saying the genitals are primitive, that's a primitive state for humanity, that since that decision was made, now we have to overcome it.
right.
But
Primitive
why
in the
is
sense
it,
that it's mammalian.
yeah, and I was saying, why have, it revert back to primitive state and reproduce? That's not what we were designed to do.
But that's, I think, that some humanoids are designed to do that, uh, and be limited to that. But but the next level then chooses to take advantage of the way that the Luciferians went against the next level by putting them on the garden, putting them in the on the planet, and having access to one of their members of the next level, who, in the case uh, of Adam, was Doe, the mind of Doe, according to T. So, so he was, his growth in the next level was of some degree of equivalence to the growth that the one called Lucifer had obtained before he fell away from the next level's membership family. So, so by subjecting him in his next level vehicle, or some next level grown vehicle, I'm not going to say that whether there were some choices in that, that I wouldn't understand, but uh, needed to be subject to the kind of mind that would try to manipulate them when they don't have that vibration as a member of the next level. They don't, there's no manipulation of them,
Well, I
ever.
guess it's telling that the serpent, is referred to as Lucifer, like the devil himself was tempting Eve and Adam, as opposed to just, a demon, just some random underling from hell, like the Satan
Right.
was there.
So
So, like you're
that
saying,
would be
it was
Lucifer.
the equivalent mind of perhaps Adam at the time.
Well, Lucifer was the one that fell away, and then it was.
Right, but like the strength of mind that Adam needed to
Oh,
be tested at a certain level.
right. Well, I don't know that.
So, like,
I don't know if he needed
maybe,
it, but I guess he did. I guess he needed it.
well, and Eve was the one that, you know, I don't know if they were both there together, but I think if I,
Well, I
like,
think Doe said that that actually before Eve was part of the picture, part of the story. Uh, that Adam, um, his first, um, I don't know what to say it, how to say it. His first less than next level action was next level choice was that he didn't want to be alone doing a task for another member in in that area of the planet where that was happening. Whether that was a spacecraft that they couldn't even see necessarily, could have been so big that it could have been just sitting right on top of that area. I'm not saying it has to be that way, but that's a possibility that there could have been borders on it, like the flaming sword that the archangels had that were guarding the entrances. Could have been a real thing that they weren't going to let certain spirits go through that area. They put up a wall of some sort. And so they're giving that, depicting that's in the control of the next level members to keep their environment the way they like it, the way it works for them. Which goes into this and so when Adam, so the next level, as they do, gave Adam what he wanted, and they made him a helper, a helpmate. Um, and so Adam was influenced before Eve was influenced.
so what influenced him the first time? His own mind.
I don't think so. I think that was the presence of the Luciferian mind that was allowed to influence him because it was putting him to the test. Can you recognize when you are being misled? Like if he had the thought, um, what, I'm not happy by myself.
Right, I'm bored.
Yeah, like I'm bored, right? Right. I want some entertainment. Yeah, I want a challenge of some sort. Yet the challenge was to do the tasks that his older member gave him, was to tend the garden and name the animals, and whatever, right? That's what some of the story says. And I'm not saying that Doe wasn't saying, and T wasn't saying that that whole story is, 100% to be taken literally. Um, of course, there's figurative things in it, but it's possible, that a lot of it could have been as accurate as it needs to be. It's a lot of times it seems like, if somebody finds a flaw with the thinking of something or a contradiction or something, then they're like prone to thinking, well, I might as well throw the whole thing out. You know, the, if this is a problem here, this doesn't make any sense to me. So the rest of it's not worth my time. Imagine if we took that attitude with partnerships, to where if we had a problem with the party or we had an argument or something, and we thought that that meant that we couldn't be together anymore. We couldn't grow through that. At least that's one way I think about it a little bit. I mean, I used to think that way many years ago. You know. But, sorry, I don't know why I keep doing that. Yeah, thanks for that. But, so, so the reverse metamorphosis that Tiendo said that Adam went through, uh, Doe added to it saying that it didn't take very long. And we know from science that metamorphosis is a real process. That's why Tiendo used the butterfly caterpillar example. Humans being caterpillars and the butterfly being what a human can become if it goes through the transition. And of course, that's what was tied to getting on the UFO in 1975, was having gone through the process of the transition into qualifying for the next level to pick you up with your vehicle because you converted it into a next level vehicle enough to where you had overcome your humanness, and so the next level at that point might decide to take your vehicle with and use that vehicle as your first vehicle on board spacecrafts as a member of the crew. And maybe the next level might even heal that vehicle of its ailments, and even bring that vehicle back or at a future time, and it wouldn't be aging at all, or maybe to visit uh, uh, an Aztec tribe or something, or to start to introduce people to the fact that there were people that there were there was a whole kingdom of people that were not from this planet, that didn't evidence being from the Earth. Of course, in the old days, what? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check the chat. I was going to go back to that lightning. I got to get through that. Right, right. Okay, hello, Black Noir. And Rise Above, hello to you. says, Sawyer, I've been wondering if anyone in the class wasn't ready to graduate when Doe, if anyone in the class wasn't ready to graduate, then Doe wouldn't have given the order to exit or allowed that person to exit, right?
Like we never.
Yeah, I don't know what they would
Rio,
do.
Rio
Huh?
left the group.
Yeah, Rio wasn't ready, obviously. And they were preparing to exit for the years, for 2.5 years after I left. And they were preparing to exit before then. See, that really wasn't a possibility. Doe already knew that a number of the students had passed their final exam. He told us that in 1992. Now, that didn't mean that there weren't more challenges, but it's all degrees of growth. And some of the students were probably ready, I think, a lot before other students. That's what I'm trying to say. But that the next level doesn't waste their time. So, it's like,
They would have just been getting stronger, those ones that were ready, right?
yes, the ones that were ready, they would just be getting stronger because they'd be dealing with the lower forces still banging on their heads to get them to be act like humans and go against T and Do.
What else is
Crisp says, yes, I think he might come on a comet, but safely land without destruction. Well, that's the point I was trying to make, actually, uh, in this broadcast, was that he did come on a comet, and he left with the Hale-Bopp comet as well. Um, and there's a lot of evidence of that. Crisp, I wish you would take a look at it.
Yeah.
Um, if you haven't already, or open your mind to it, I think might be beneficial because it's such a beautiful uh, um, realization. To, what was it?
I don't know, just go. We have 5 minutes, so
Yeah.
I just wanted you to see
So Rise Above says, yes, the fourth state of matter is plasma. Thank you, Rise Above, for the fourth state of matter, which is a superheated gas, usually, I think. Right, and Doe described spirit, the mind, also using the term like plasma. So, and I'm not sure if he used the word like or not. Don't think it's that important when he described the pocket that was the soul that holds the mind from the next level, that houses the mind from the next level, that grows. What?
I'm just trying to encourage you to move along.
Yeah.
So, because we're going to be there pretty soon. Holy shit. Oh my god, that was horrible. That's a good thing you didn't see what I just saw.
I don't think I got it. Uh,
No, there was a deer that was half apart in the road. There was a deer
a
that had
deer?
been hit
Oh,
that was
oh,
dismembered
he
in
was,
the road.
oh,
That's what
really?
I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed that.
That's what I'm
I mean,
saying.
I'm not sorry I missed it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry that you had to see that.
No, I'm just wanting you to.
Yeah, I will. John S. says, Sawyer, when was the last time anyone heard from Neody? I personally feel like he was afraid to exit his vehicle and profited off the class. Well, I don't know that he profited off the class except for the selling of his book, and I don't think that was much.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't go there.
Well,
And
it's not fair to judge.
yeah, it's right. That's why I'm addressing that. That I don't think that's a proper, not proper. It's not accurate. I don't believe to think of him as profiting off the class. Maybe he had some ideas about that. I don't doubt that. And he was given the book to, the movie scripts to shop, to try to make into a movie. So Baido gave him that task. So that wasn't a little task. And he may still be doing that in his mind. I don't want to, be putting somebody down.
I
Um,
think he tried his best.
well, we don't know. We don't know, if he tried his best, but,
I think at the time that he tried his, what he could, and there was an intense amount of media pressure on him,
yeah,
and any, relationship that he might have had, and then with everything going on with the materials and the lawsuit and Mark and Sarah, like that's a lot.
yeah. I talked with him a number of times, and uh, but it was years ago, many years ago,
Like he
over 10 years ago.
loves T&O, but he didn't
It
want to
was,
be involved in all of the stuff that happened after.
yeah, there's a lot to the whole story
Yeah,
with that, with him.
I think it's not right to.
I mean, he said some things that weren't true, and whether he's changed from those things, I just don't know about it. That's up to him. I maybe I've said some things that are untrue also, and I don't even know it.
Right. Like
So
sometimes interpretations.
yeah. So but he said some things to the public that I tried to talk to him about a little bit, and he didn't want to. So anyway, but I don't hold that against him. I mean, it's just part of what we all deal with. Anyway, so I don't know the last time anyone heard from him, except that he was in a recent documentary.
Yeah.
One of the most recent with the person that does the 2020 used to do the
Oh, I
2020
think
thing.
it's Diane Sawyer, and I think he said, he
Diane
loves
Sawyer.
T&O, and that he just, I mean, you have to watch it again, but I feel like, he just got hounded by the media and everything. You and I know, I mean, it's not easy.
So John S. also says, also curious what special roles Livodi and January held with Doe. Did they have special tasks or ranked higher than other classmates? It's really not a kind of a thinking of a rank, but some individuals have tasks with more responsibility than
Well,
others,
Angela and Junior
and
too.
it's according to their growth. So I think Livodi and January uh, demonstrated
Do you need to go down later?
being some of the more elder students. And you can see that in the Bible as well with the archangels and the angels, because an archangel is a captain of angels. And that's why Michael is referred to as an archangel, and as referred to in Revelation 12 as the one that fights against the dragon, Lucifer. And so that's talking about Do as it being that same soul potentially as Michael the archangel, graduating from captain of angels to whatever his next station would be. And with that said, I am in my camp area, and so I'm going to have to say goodnight, folks, because it's time for me to go and Kathy to go Betty bye.
Why are you talking like that?
Because I'm silly sometimes.
There she is.
Okay, good night. Let's see, I gotta put the controls on there.